Okay, what's up, y'all? It's Maddie, and I'm finally doing it. I'm finally making a YouTube channel. I'm just gonna have fun with it, be myself, kind of show like more sports content, I guess, more than what I do already on Twitter and Instagram. And I don't know why I'm so nervous to post this when I post my life already on those platforms and a lot of people see it, but I'm kind of nervous. Oh my God. Okay, I need to just relax, but. I thought this would be a great opportunity for me to open up this channel and tell y'all the story on how I got to meet my idol, Derrick Rose. Okay, I have his book. And that'll be a big part in the story of it all, basically. But let's kind of fast or rewind, okay? Rewind to growing up. I was a big basketball fan. When I was in second grade, all I asked for my Holy Communion was a basketball hoop. And when I got back from my Holy Communion, there it was in my driveway. And I just fell in love with basketball. And at the time, the Bulls had drafted Derrick Rose and the number one overall pick. And I mean, I didn't really like know much. I was like 10, literally like 10 or 9. But I fell in love with the Bulls. And I just remember watching him his rookie season. I was like, oh my God, I want to be the girl version of Derrick Rose. Like, I was like, I want to be him. He was so good. He was so explosive. He was just, and like, he was so humble when he would play. And I just thoroughly enjoyed it. And he really helped the Bulls be great for the time I was growing up. Like, it was very entertaining. Um, and when I was a kid, all I said was the only person I want to meet in life is Derrick Rose, and my life would be complete. And I was like, there's just like no way. I would go to the airport and I would like, because I lived in the suburbs of Chicago. So when I would go to O'Hare, I would pray that I was going to run into Derrick Rose. But whatever. So, time goes on. Derrick Rose gets injured. I'm still playing basketball, and life gets on. And then I turned 24. And well, I had played basketball in college, and then I had an extra year of eligibility. So I transferred for my last season. And when I transferred, I had met my best friend who was also a graduate transfer. And we had connected over the summer. And like, I just wish I could, like, this is just such a small world. It's a full circle moment in a way. But I had connected with her over the summer, and she was like, hey, I was just wondering if you would ever be interested in going to a New York Knicks game when they come, because we lived in Kansas, and we lived kind of like an hour and a half from Oklahoma City. And she was like, I was wondering if you would be interested in going to a New York Knicks game with me when they come to Oklahoma City. And I was like, of course, even though everybody knows I'm not like the biggest NBA fan anymore. I was like, of course, like I would love to go at least, And she's like, well, great. My cousin is Jalen Brunson. And I was like, huh? Because if you grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, everybody knew Jalen Brunson because he was literally like the best basketball player in the state of Illinois. I mean, I think he was uh, the I don't know what you would call it. He was like the number one player in the state. He went to I don't remember the exact high school. I know it was Green, and they went to state, and I think they won it. Um, but everybody knew Jalen Brunson growing up. Like, I remember watching him on TV, and I was like, holy shit, her cousin is Jalen Brunson. Like, what the hell? I was like, girl, yeah. Like, that's awesome. She's like, yeah, we'll get to go and like in the back and meet the players and stuff like that. And my coach, or my uncle, is one of the assistant coaches. I was like, okay, this is so awesome, whatever. And this was like in June of like leading up to my graduate year. And so I was like thinking, was like, wait a second. Derrick Rose is on the New York Knicks. He had just gotten traded there, I think. I can't remember. He was on a lot of teams, okay? I was like, wait, Derrick Rose is on the New York Knicks. And I started putting two and two together, and I was like, wait a second. Am I like gonna get to meet Derrick Rose? Like I didn't ask her because I was like, I don't want to be annoying, like one of those annoying people. Well, more annoying than I already am, but I was like, Derrick Rose is on the New York Knicks. So I text my mom and my sister in my group chat. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to be like too excited to get my heart broken, but I think I'm gonna get to meet Derrick Rose. And they're like, how? And I was like, well, we're going to this game. And so fast forward to November. The game is the week of Thanksgiving. And we had to like ask our coach if we could like move practice up to drive to Oklahoma City because the game is at like 7:30. Well, he said yes, of course, and he was like, go have fun, blah, blah. So we're getting ready in the locker room, and I'm like checking the status because Derrick Rose didn't play the night before in Phoenix. And I was like, oh my God, watch him not be on this trip for injury reason. And everybody knows Derrick Rose is very injury prone, so that was always his case. I remember growing up as a kid, when he came back from his ACL surgery, the whole year after, people were skeptical, like if he was even going to play some games. It just wasn't really consistent. Whatever. Like he had some, like he struggled to return to the game. So we're in the car, and I am literally on Twitter refreshing the feed. I am like, oh my God, please let him be there. Please let him be there. So we pull up to Oklahoma City, and they announced that he was not playing. And my heart like sunk. It sunk, guys. I was really devastated. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh my God, why did I come? Like I was trying to hold back tears, okay? And so we pull up to the stadium, and I'm like, no, like he's just gonna be on the bench. He's just gonna be on the bench. And, you know, Jalen Brunson gifted us these great seats right behind the Knicks bench. And I'm going to like insert some pictures and stuff like this in the end of it. But he gave us seats. And so we're walking down to the seats, and I look, and Derrick Rose is not there on the court. He's not on the bench. He's not shooting, warming up. And my heart sunk. And I sound pathetic, I know, whatever. But like this really was my idol growing up, and I thought this was the one opportunity in life maybe I would get to meet him. And so my heart sunk, and I text my sister right away, and I'm like, her name is Caroline. I was like, Caroline, I don't want to cry, but he's not here. And I didn't want to like ask my friend to ask Jalen before the game if Derrick Rose is there, but I do think she ended up texting him. I can't remember. This was a year and a half ago. But I'm just like, okay, you know what, Maddie? It's just God's sign, whatever. Like I kind of believe in like signs, I guess you would say. And the game goes on, and Jalen Brunson was killing it. I think he dropped 46 that night. And if you know me, I am very crazy when I go to like sporting events. Like I'm screaming, jumping up and down. And it was the fourth quarter, and it was a close game. Jalen Brunson is killing it. Like we are going crazy. And I had my book in my hand. I had this book. It's Derrick Rose's book, which, okay, people are like, he didn't write it. Well, okay, whatever. Somebody else wrote it with him. So I had this book in my hand, and I was like jumping up and down, and I was like dancing with the book. I was like swinging it around like this. I was going crazy. And we were really close to like the court area, and a security guard saw me. And my first instinct was like, oh my God, I'm about to get in trouble because I was saying some curse words too. I was like, oh my God, I am about to get in trouble and get us kicked out, you know? And he points at me, and he's like, come here. And I like look at my friends, because there were three of us. And I was like, oh God, guys, I just got in trouble, whatever. And he's like, come here. And so I take my book, and I just walk down there, and he's like, give me your book. And I was like, oh, I didn't, like, they didn't yell at me to bring it in. And he was like, no, Derrick Rose is in the back. I'll go get it signed. And in that moment, my heart dropped, because I knew that we were going to get to go back there and meet Derrick Rose. And so I was just really nervous, and I gave him the book. I was like, here, even though I was like looking at my best friend, and I was like, oh my God, he's here. And So he goes in the back, and Derrick Rose signs it. This is what he said. Stay blessed, number 4. At the time, on the New York Knicks, he was number 4. So, but he signed it, and the game goes on, and I can't remember if the Knicks won. I actually do think the Knicks won. I can't remember, but we're just waiting. We're waiting because her uncle was gonna come and get us. And lo and behold, afterwards he comes in, gets my best friend, and he like pulls us down by the stairs, and he's like, we're taking them in the back, and we had like passes and stuff like that. And so we were going through the tunnel, and I am literally shaking. I couldn't believe my eyes. I truly couldn't believe this moment. It makes me smile. Like, this is my favorite story to tell. It really is. I was just super passionate as a kid about Derrick Rose. So he takes us in the back, and he was like, just wait here. And we're talking with him, and I think RJ Barrett was the first player to come out, and so we got to meet him. He actually signed right here. We got to meet him. We got a picture, and then there was Derrick Rose. And I'm gonna insert the video of like me waiting for him after this. So, or I'm just gonna insert the video right now. Okay. I'm not.
Have you had James drove in on a University Bridge for Toyota Camry?
There's like you're gonna get your picture.
It's my niece. Oh, these are teammates.
I'm really.
I see you. My niece,
Maddie.
KJ. Nice to meet you.
Thank you for signing my book. Yes. And the rest was history. It truly was amazing. I'll post pictures at the end, but when I like saw him, I was just super grateful, and right away I asked him, I was like, can I give you a hug? And he was like, of course. And so I gave him a hug, and afterwards I like told him, I was like, Derrick, I don't think you understand, like, you were really, like, you have completed my life. And I was like, I could die tomorrow and be very happy. And he just was super humble. He said, don't worry, there is more to life than just me. And I truly couldn't believe it. I am so forever grateful for my best friend and Jalen Brunson, of course. And his name is Rick Brunson. He is Jalen's dad, and he's on the New York Knicks. But it was the most insane experience of my life. It would be very, very hard to top that. I'm just very grateful because you look up to somebody growing up, especially as a basketball player. And again, nobody in this world is perfect, and Derrick Rose is not perfect. And I know that. It's just when he had such an impact on me as a basketball player, I just dreamt of like meeting him and, you know, going to Bulls games growing up. I was the biggest Bulls fan. Oh my God. And back in the day in NBA games, I don't really know if you can do it anymore, but it was really cool because before games, you could, even if you didn't have seats in the lower level, you could go to the tunnel and like meet the players. And I would go to these games, and I would just like stand there hoping Derrick would come. And he never did. But at the time, that like his magnitude in Chicago was insane because he was just so good, and he was a rising star. So he never really came out super early to like meet fans. At least I never got lucky enough. But yeah, so that is the story on how I got to meet my idol, Derrick Rose. I hope you all like it. I'm not trying to brag in any way. It just, you know, it was the best experience of my life, the most memorable experience of my life. I will never forget that. And I will be forever grateful for my best friend and what she did for me. Like, it was awesome. But I really hope you like this video. If you don't, I don't care. I like this. But if you like it, make sure to like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I'm not trying to be, one of those basic YouTubers, but why not try, I guess. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry I talk a lot, but that's just me.